Welcome, everyone. Today, we're doing a deep dive into a really extraordinary real-world case study.
Yeah, it's quite a story. We're talking about cybersecurity expert Alberto Daniel Hill.
Exactly. And his journey is this incredible mix of profound personal hardship and this truly global mission that emerged from it.
It really goes way beyond just,
Mm.
his public profile. It's a deeply personal saga.
It started with something pretty shocking, his imprisonment in Uruguay. First person jailed there for a computer crime he absolutely denies.
Right, a crime he says he didn't commit.
Yep.
And that's where this whole incredibly difficult chapter begins for him.
And here's the core of our deep dive today.
Yeah.
How that awful experience, that injustice, somehow became this powerful catalyst. We're exploring how he used digital tools, specifically Twitter, or X now, and its live audio feature, Twitter Spaces.
That live aspect is key.
Totally. How he used that not just to find his own voice again, but to build this advocacy platform so powerful it actually led to a direct, kind of unbelievable interaction with Interpol.
And this isn't just, a dramatic story for the sake of it. It's almost like a blueprint for you listening. It shows how a crisis can turn into something much bigger.
A global mission, really.
Yeah, it shows the potential these digital platforms have for real connection, for education, for advocacy, especially when, like, the normal doors are slammed shut.
It's about that raw power of just telling your truth, isn't it? Radical transparency.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But to really get it, you need the background. Alberto wasn't just anyone. He was a pioneer in IT and cybersecurity in Uruguay.
Right. He was the first IT expert assigned to a cybercrime case there, tied to their new cybercrime laws. He was basically helping write the rule book.
But that early work, it took a huge toll. Sifting through really disturbing material led to severe burnout.
Which is rough, but that experience, that sort of vulnerability and resilience, probably informed how he handled things later.
I think so, yeah. It laid some groundwork.
Uh,
Which brings us to 2017-2018, Operation Bitcoin, his wrongful imprisonment.
and the crucial part here is he'd actually been trying to help. He'd found huge security flaws in a medical provider system.
Massive flaws, like default admin logins. Anyone could basically access patient records just by changing a number in a web address. Hundreds of thousands of records.
Wow. And he warned them.
He warned them. They didn't act. Then, September 2017, that same facility gets hacked.
Oh, come on.
And on the same day the country's VP resigned in some scandal, Alberto gets arrested by Interpol. Coincidence? Maybe.
The investigation sounds like it was, well, flawed doesn't quite cover it.
Flawed is an understatement. Wrong name on the warrant, evidence based on, a total misunderstanding of tech. Toy Bitcoin coins presented as proof. It was almost comical if it wasn't so serious.
And he only confessed after threats against his family.
Allegedly, yes. Threats to arrest his mother and girlfriend make them suffer. He chose their safety over his immediate truth. Coercion, plain and simple.
Leading to 8 months in preventative prison. The justification, his high IT knowledge meant he could alter evidence mentally.
Which is just bizarre. His health failed. He eventually got out on bail.
And found police had left critical evidence behind at his home.
Yeah. Speaks volumes about the initial investigation, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Traditional media had already destroyed his reputation. Justice system failed him. Assets frozen. All doors closed.
Okay, so this is the turning point. Completely shut out, what does he do?
He picks up his phone. Literally just his cell phone. Turns to social media. Realizes if Uruguay won't listen, he has to go global.
Twitter.
Starts on Twitter. At first, it's raw, unfiltered anger. But then, early 2022, after his legal case closes, it shifts. Becomes strategic.
And that's where Twitter Spaces comes in, the live audio.
Exactly. He doesn't just tweet, he goes live. Starts this thing called the Cyber Midnight Club. Almost by accident, actually.
How so?
He did a test space, supposedly a sarcastic take on romance scams. But then real victims, former criminals, experts, they just started joining.
Wow.
The conversation immediately got serious and pathetic. This unplanned thing showed a huge need for these raw, unscripted talks.
And that became his style. Radical transparency.
Totally. He'd share intensely personal stuff, admitting he'd been hacked, or even that he deliberately infected himself with malware, RAT, just to understand it.
That takes guts and vulnerability.
It disarms people, creates trust. He'd say things like, anyone who claims he's an expert that can never be hacked, I'm not that kind of person, advocating for reporting cybercrime, fighting the shame.
Which brings us to the moment, the Interpol interaction, November 2021.
Right. He's physically at Interpol's offices in Uruguay, and he does something incredibly bold.
He opens a Twitter space, live, from inside Interpol.
Live. on his phone, documenting his experience in real time for anyone listening worldwide.
Okay, that's audacious. What happened?
So while he's live broadcasting,
Yeah.
the director of computer forensics at Interpol Uruguay approaches him.
Wait, the same guy involved in his arrest? The one who dismissed his earlier security reports?
The very same person walks up to Alberto while the space is live.
And don't leave us hanging.
And he asks Alberto for his help.
You're kidding.
No. He openly admits, live on Alberto's space, that Interpol's cybercrime unit is overwhelmed. They have no idea how to handle all the fraud on platforms like Mercado Libre.
Live for the world to hear, asking the man they imprisoned for help.
Live on Alberto's own platform. Talk about a shift in power, public vindication right there.
It's like single moment.
Yeah.
Wow, it just captures everything, doesn't it?
It really does. The system that jailed him, the very person who questioned him, now publicly acknowledging his expertise and needing his help via Twitter Spaces. It's the ultimate proof of his platform's power and his resilience.
From being an outcast, a pariah, to being sought out by the institution that condemned him. And this wasn't just symbolic, right? It led to actual changes.
Oh, absolutely. His constant pressure, that radical transparency, it caused a massive shakeup in Uruguay's cybersecurity leadership. Key figures removed or replaced, including the director of their national CERT.
And new structures were put in place.
Yes, a dedicated cybersecurity unit, trained professionals, a new cybercrime prosecutor, a more competent approach, driven by his advocacy.
His message seems to be about sharing your story, breaking the silence.
Exactly. Share your story, even if it's painful, because it can save just one person. He argues not reporting cybercrime just helps the criminals. His platform fights that silence, encourages this kind of collective defense.
Alberto Daniel Hill's journey is just something else. Trailblazing expert, wrongly imprisoned, now a global advocate shaping a more secure digital future through sheer persistence and openness.
It really makes you think, though, in this digital age, what does it even mean to know someone? To trust information? With deepfakes, social engineering, how do you find what's genuinely authentic?
That's the big question, isn't it? And maybe the answer lies in what Alberto demonstrated. How will our own courage, our willingness to share, but also to truly listen to authentic voices like his on these platforms, how will that shape our online world, especially as tech keeps blurring reality?